Welcome back to episode 3 in this mini tattoo series. So in today's episode, we're talking about how to take care of your tattoo after it's done. We'll talk about the products that I use to take care of my tattoos, the different tattoo stages such as the first day and night, the morning after, and the weeks following. And then we'll touch on some general do's and don'ts towards the end. Welcome back to the channel. This is Flowknot, I'm Brad. So I want to start off with a general disclaimer before we get going here. I am not a tattoo artist. I'm just an average dude. So this is my own personal routine for all my tattoos based on information that I've received from my tattoo artist and research that I've done on my own on the line. With that being said, is what works for me might not necessarily work for you. And it takes getting your first tattoo to kind of understand how your skin reacts to certain products. If you're using things like Saniderm, or you've looked into it and you want to use something like Saniderm to make the process a little bit easier, it's like a second skin, things like that, where you lay over your tattoo, and it kind of skips the process of like the healing ointment and stuff, kind of goes straight into the lotion phase. I have never used that for any of my tattoos, so I can't speak to that personally. I will say, talk to your artist. First and foremost, test it out beforehand. I know I had a brief discussion with my artist about it because I was a little bit curious. Put it on a piece of your skin, not on your tattoo. Just see how it reacts to your skin and see if you have some kind of allergic reaction. So let's move on to what you'll actually need. These are the products that I use during the tattoo healing stage. I kind of do the classic approach too. I don't do anything fancy. First one is antibacterial soap. So I use Dial Gold. It does use fragrance. I researched online and people said this was okay. I personally have not had any issues with this. Next is healing ointment. So you've probably heard of this one. I use Aquaphor. This is the unscented lotion that I use, the classic Lubriderm. And then for the soap, once I get kind of through the flaky stage, this is just my normal soap that I use. So it's the Dove Sensitive Skin. So now let's talk about the tattoo stages. And I'm gonna start from the very beginning when you get your tattoo done at the shop. And I'll speak to my own personal experience again. As the tattoo artist is finishing up, he puts some healing ointment on my tattoo and then wraps it, puts some tape on it to keep it in place, and then I'm on my way. Me personally, I don't make any plans. Typically, I even take the day after off of work, knowing that I'm gonna kind of sleep like shit, and it just gives me time to chill out and kind of go through the initial stages without having to worry about work or things like that. I don't know about you, but I feel like absolute shit afterwards. I'm tired.
I don't want to talk about it to you or to anyone else.
All I want to do is just go home, sit on the couch, and watch a movie or some TV shows. So again, listen to your tattoo artist, but for me, I keep the saran wrap on for that first day, and I don't take it off until the morning after. So I'm not showering at night or anything like that. I'm just leaving the bandage on and then going to sleep. So before you go to sleep, for your bed specifically, maybe put on some sheets that you don't care about. Some of that excess blood and plasma and the stuff that's in the wrap might leak out and get on your sheets. I have white sheets and I've kept them white. I'll show you a few tricks that I did. And you should wear some baggy clothing when you go to bed. So for me, for my snake tattoo, for example, you don't want the tattoo to stick to the sheets. I just wore some baggy like cotton sweatpants. I usually turn the temperature down a little bit colder than I do normally, just so I'm not sweating at night. Keeps it from, sticking to my pants. I also put like a paper towel on my foot that really helped kind of grab some of that excess that did come out of the wrap and just absorbed into the paper towel. So that's something you can do too. It looks ridiculous, but like I said, my white sheets have stayed white, and it's a little trick that I kind of do afterwards just to keep everything in. Try not to lay on it, but ultimately once you fall asleep, that's something you can't really control. My snake tattoo being on my entire leg, I rolled on it at night. I fell asleep. I went back to my normal sleeping positions. It's gonna happen. Try to limit your movement as much as you can at night, but ultimately you probably will lay on it a little bit.
Good morning. I slept like shit.
So to me, taking off the wrap in the morning is one of the most satisfying parts of the tattoo process. You've had the whole day before and night of it just being so hot and sweaty. And as soon as you take the wrap off in the morning, you just get this rush of cool air And I don't know, it's one of my favorite parts. So take the wrap off slowly in the morning. I wash my hands before even touching the wrap. I just like to have clean hands all the time. So I'll wash my hands when I get up. I'll start taking the wrap off slowly. Depending on how much tape there is, I might use some scissors to cut, get all the wrap off, throw it away, and now you're pretty much ready to jump in the shower and get it washed. After taking the wrap off, you'll most likely see some blood, some plasma, maybe some excess ink. This is all normal. It looks gross, but I promise you it's a normal part of the process. It's probably gonna be a little sensitive to the touch. Be gentle, but this is also the time to get it clean. So don't be so gentle to where you leave that excess stuff on there. Make sure you clean it well and get all of that off. You're gonna use lukewarm water. You can't screw this up. If the water's too hot and it goes on your tattoo, it's gonna hurt.
God damn it.
So turn the temperature down. Depending, usually lukewarm is about the good spot that makes it feel to where it doesn't hurt too much. So I'll show you kind of how I do it. Again, I have all that kind of excess shit that's on my tattoo. I get the soap in my hands, I get them all kind of sudsed up, and I'll just do a couple times down and just wipe all of that excess stuff off, just to get it kind of clean. And then once that's pretty good to go, and I feel like all of that's gone, or most of it's gone, then I'll put some more soap in my hands, get them suds up again, and then I'll actually clean the tattoo. So again, be gentle. It is gonna be a little bit sensitive, but go down, give it a good clean, make sure all that stuff is off. You might even need to do this a couple times through, which is totally fine. So after it's clean and you hop out of the shower, I typically do paper towels. You don't want to use a dirty towel or something like that and get bacteria in there. You're not taking a towel or something and, you know, rubbing your tattoo like this. You're just lightly patting it just to get it mostly dry, and then you can kind of air dry it from there. So the next step is your healing ointment. And for me, like I mentioned, I use Aquaphor. Follow the less is more method. So you're not gonna cake it in Aquaphor. You don't want it to be super shiny. You just want a thin coat on there to make sure that it's fully covered, because the Aquaphor kind of acts as a protective layer against your clothing and things like that. It just protects the tattoo. If you found that it's super shiny and you accidentally put too much on, you can just take a paper towel and just dab off the excess. So after you do the Aquaphor in the morning, this is the process that I do for the next 3 days. So including that day, this would be day 1 when I get out of the shower. So Aquaphor 2 to 3 times a day. I typically just do morning and at night, and if I feel like I need a little bit more on, I'll do it midday again. And then you're also washing your tattoo 2 to 3 times a day. And I keep it easy and just do morning at night, because that's when I shower, so I can go in the shower, wash the tattoo, and then put the Aquaphor on afterwards. So now we're on the 4th day. During this stage, this is when you are in the unscented lotion. So you're off of the healing ointment. This stage is kind of called like the flaking, itching stage. This is a normal part of the process. Do not scratch your tattoo. Don't pick at it. You see like a little flake sticking out, don't pull it. Just let it do its thing and fall off normally. Chances are when you wash it in the shower or something like that too, it's probably gonna fall off. You're still washing your tattoo 2 to 3 times a day. Again, I typically just do morning at night. So now when you get out of the shower, you would use your unscented lotion. And like I mentioned, I use Lubriderm. Again, light layer. You're not looking to cake it to the point where it looks shiny. And if it gets to the point where it's so itchy, where you feel like you need to scratch it, you can lightly slap it. Sometimes you might not even have that flaky stage, or you might have a very light version of it. Everyone's skin's different, your body heals differently, so some people might go through that stage a little bit longer than others. Typically, from what I've read online too, it lasts from anywhere from like a week and a half to 4 weeks. I think on average it's like 2 weeks. Specifically for my tiger on my arm, it did not flake hardly at all. This one did a little bit. My leg did a lot. Again, I just think because there was so much ink there, it took closer to the 4 week mark compared to like my arm, which took 2 weeks or less. To fully heal, it usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks. I think longer than that to like be completely healed, but to be healed to the point where it's out of the flaky stage and now it's just time will tell, like still you're taking care of it good, but obviously that's a long timeline. You still have to go out and hang out with friends and live your life and go to work and do all that kind of stuff. So here's the do's and don'ts. Wear baggy clothes. Don't wear tight clothes. For my snake tattoo on my leg, for example, I'm not gonna wear super tight pants to where the pants are just rubbing against the tattoo constantly, because if it does scab or something like that, tight clothes are just more prone to maybe pull at the tattoo and just irritate it. Keep your towels clean. I'm pretty particular about this, especially in the beginning stages. None of my tattoos have ever been infected. Towels are washed every day. I wash my sheets like every other day. I just keep everything clean to avoid any bacteria. I'd much rather take the time to be overkill in the beginning and not have it go through some kind of infection or something like that. Keep it covered when you go outside. After 4 to 6 weeks, then you're okay to put some sunscreen on there, but you need to wait until it's actually fully healed. Don't submerge it in water. This is why I mentioned in my other video that the best time to get a tattoo is like fall or winter. You don't want to be going in pools, hot tubs, you don't want to be going in saunas, things like that. So avoid fully submerging your tattoo in water. Now the gym is another one. I did talk to my tattoo artist about this. Sweat isn't really a big harm for your tattoo. It's more so the bacteria at the gym. I usually wait at least the first 3 days until I get out of the Aquaphor stage. And then I'm just really mindful when I am at the gym. I might adjust my workouts accordingly so that I'm not laying on benches, but still, if I do lay on a bench or something like that, I make sure to wipe it down. And I have a gym in my apartment complex that isn't like a huge public gym, so there's not as many people that go through there. So that's everything. Hopefully you found this little series helpful. I enjoyed making these videos. I'm constantly learning this process as I continue getting more tattoos in the future, because I plan on getting a lot more. This is a pretty big topic. People have different routines and stuff that works for their body. So I hope you're interactive in the comments. I really try to be. So if you have questions or maybe things that you even disagreed with, if you like this content, consider subscribing. It really does help the channel. Punch the like button below. It really does help YouTube recommend this video to other people. And I will catch you on the next video. Products to use or get. Blah. I'm already talking too much. I feel like I'm still jumping around a little bit. Blah, 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 blah. You can always dab it off. Oh, I forgot to go with the pat dry.